Yes, indeed. It is The Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He's Rob. And we are 1 week into our Summer of Tire Rack sweepstakes. That means that Fox Sports Radio and TireRack.com are giving away a set of 4 brand new tires valued at up to $1,500 this week. A winner will be picked on Sunday to win a set of 4 tires plus installation, taxes, and fees valued at up to $1,500. Enter daily, which gets you a new entry into the contest every single day right here at foxsportsradio.com to boost your chances to win. After this week, 2 more winners will have a chance to win through August 27th for a set of 4 brand new tires. To enter and get rules, visit foxsportsradio.com. This is sponsored by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. I don't know if you saw this interesting story about the Saudis and their soccer league. Obviously Live Golf, they got into golf. They dipped their toe in that, more than dipped their toe, right? They've changed golf, and now they're not now, but they're looking at doing soccer. But it's going to tie into the NBA because Giannis, once he saw this, he kind of jumped in there and put in his 2 cents. So Rob G is going to break it down and summarize it for us. Rob G, tell us about it.
That's right. According to multiple outlets, including Front Office Sports and CBS Sports, soccer star Kylian Mbappé has been offered a 1-year, $1.1 billion package by the Saudi club Al Hilal to join their club next season. The terms of the deal are as such: $332 million American dollars as a transfer fee to his current club, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and a 1-year, $776 million salary to play for Al Hilal next season, which prompted Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is definitely not struggling financially, but to chime in on the situation on Twitter with a photo of himself zoomed in, throwing up a 1-finger thumbs up sign, saying, Al Hilal, you can take me. I look like Kylian Mbappé.
All right, Rob, simple question. Let's say, for sake of argument, if they were to get into basketball, and they'd have to create their own league, I guess, and you were Giannis or some other superstar player, would you consider going over there for, the type of money that they're talking about?
Absolutely. We saw it before. We saw it in golf just recently, and we saw it in the United States Football League. I'm talking about the original one that had Reggie White and Steve Young and Jim Kelly and Chris Collinsworth. Chris, we would be on the radio for the next hour talking about the good players who played in that league. Right. Herschel Walker was the number 1 pick out of Georgia. He went to the New Jersey Generals, owned by Donald Trump back then, Chris, because they were paying money. And competition is good. And if I was a player and I had an option, just like we said with the Saudis and the golf, dude, if you're playing the same thing, Tiger turned down like $800 million and then got left holding the bag with nothing while everybody else cashed out. What is the difference? I've always said this in my career, Chris. I moved around a lot in the newspaper business. It wasn't because I was terrible, maybe a little terrible, but it was because it was terrible.
Not quite terrible.
Right, not terrible, just okay. But I used to always say, you mean to tell me you're going to pay me $25,000 more to send my story to a different phone number? Is that what the difference is? I'm just, if you can make a lot more money doing something, I just don't understand why you wouldn't. And the other league, right, either this league could eclipse it, or if this league didn't last or fold, if you're a good player, you could go back to the other league like they did in the USFL and the NFL. They got cashed out, and then they went back to the NFL and had careers. So I would take the cash if it was significant. Not nickels and dimes more, Chris, right, but significant. It's got to be significant.
Yeah, I mean, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's talk this type of money that they're paying for Mbappe.
Right. And Rob G, real quick, let me ask.
$8 million.
Yeah. I don't know.
1 year.
What does he make? What does he make now? You know what I mean? Like, what's his salary now?
He's playing in France, right?
So what's his salary now that they're offering him $750 million, you know? And Rob G,
Rob
I would
G
like
will look that up.
Yeah, I'd also like to know, Rob G, if you can, with Reggie White or Jim Kelly or Steve Young, what they were making in the NFL at that time and what they signed for in the USFL, Chris. I'm just curious.
And remember, Herschel went straight from college.
Right, from Georgia to the USFL.
Did Steve Young?
I don't know, because he was with the LA Express.
Yeah.
Rob, y'all are too young, but I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Rob G, on Mbappe.
So Kylian Mbappe, again, the reason why the Saudi clubs are offering this much is because they're trying to make a big splash. They offered a huge deal to Lionel Messi. He turned them down. They offered a huge deal to Cristiano Ronaldo, and he took it. So Mbappe currently is on a 3-year, $223 million contract.
2-year what?
3 years,
1 year,
223.
he can triple that.
Oh, God.
All right.
But he's viewed as like the next big thing. He has the most World Cup goals of any person in history before the age of 24.
Here's where I'm at on this, Rob. If I were, because we're talking about it in relation to basketball, since Giannis brought it up. If I were LeBron James, let's say they start a league, right? They got their professional basketball league. Maybe they got a bunch of international players and some lower level, but still professional NBA players. If I'm a LeBron James who's about to turn 39 next season, I would, after like another year or two in the NBA, I would go over there. I mean, when he's 41, 42, he obviously won't be the same player, but guess what? He'll still be LeBron James. He'll still be a huge name, and that goes for Steph Curry. Not now. I would not do it now if they started their own basketball league, because I do think what you talking about writing, that's different, because in sports, like if I'm a star basketball player, I want to play against the best and beat the best and be in the best league. So after I've done that and made my mark and my money, and now I'm on the downside, look, I can't guarantee because I'm not the one with the money, but I would be stunned if they wouldn't offer LeBron James at 41, 42 years old a ton of money, more money than he's probably ever made in the NBA. And so I would do that. If I'm Giannis, Rob, at this stage of where I'm at, I'm not going. It's not like I'm making pennies in the NBA. So I would go over there to make $1 billion. I get it. Some people might think I'm crazy. Go over there to make $1 billion dominating who? And again, I think that money would be there later on too. Let them build the league up. We're talking basketball. Let them build the league up to where it's reputable, where it's some good players and it means something to win that and play over there. And then we can talk if I'm in my prime like Giannis or Jokic or somebody like that. But as an older player, after I've done everything in the NBA and reached my pinnacle in the NBA, yeah, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I mean, they want you because they're trying to build a league. So to take washed up players, that's not a good business model. You don't
think if they got LeBron James in 3 years, it wouldn't be huge?
No. I don't think he'll be the same. I don't think he'll be the same player.
He wouldn't.
They might offer him. They might offer him that he gets a franchise that's not a guarantee in the NBA or something like that. But I'm just talking about some star player. If they were to offer him, if he's making $200 million in the NBA, and they say we'll give you $750 to leave the NBA, dude, I'm taking that. I am, because there have been, like you say, I think that you could always go back if you're a talented player, so that's not the issue. Cash out, get guaranteed money.
You could do it 1 year. That's fair. You go over there for 1 year, make your money,
and the league
and then
folds.
come back.
I'll just say the league.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, I would do it and say, let's see where it goes. It was just like, I think that kind of money. This is not like you're making $200 million and they're going to offer you $225. You're not going anywhere, Chris, for that. But you're talking about tripling or quadrupling my salary. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think that's why we thought some of the golfers were crazy to stand by and not take a piece of that pie.
Yeah, and maybe it's because I'm not as into golf. I feel like I get that the PGA is a big deal and always has been, for decades and all that. But I also think in golf, you're often competing against the course, and who you're playing with may not be as big of a deal because you're competing against the course. And they were getting, some bad, they were in a bad situation in PGA. Sometimes you got to pay for your own way to the tournaments and stuff like that. But if I'm a great basketball player, I'm trying to make my mark in the NBA. I'm not trying to make it in Saudi Arabia. Now, I like your idea. If I went over for 1 year, that's a whole different story. I'm 24. I go over there 1 year, make my $700 million, and come back to the NBA after that. I don't dislike that idea. That's something I think I'd look at doing. But yeah, I'm not trying to go over there. Like, I'm trying to ball in the NBA. And I get it. You're right. Like, I would want them to build the league up where it's reputable.
Well, but that's
before I go over there.
But if just say this. It's hypothetical, obviously. 8 of the 10 best players go over to that league. That's a whole different.
Yeah, then you're. Because remember, I'm saying I want to play against and beat the best.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
So if they do that,
if they were to lure 8 of the 10 best players over there,
right,
then that league is better. That league immediately becomes better than the NBA. Like immediately.
And I'm gonna be honest, Rob. If I were the players, now first of all, they should try to do that. Saudi Arabia, the way they throwing around money,
they got plenty of money.
But
Chris,
if I'm the players too, I'm getting together and talking amongst ourselves, right, and saying, look. Because LeBron, Rob, wants to own an NBA team. Right, and that takes billions.
Right, and it's no guarantee, even if he's in the running, Chris, that he's going to get it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of rich people in this country.
It wouldn't be surprising if the NBA, as a discouragement to guys that go over there to a league like that, would say, if you go over there and play, we're not giving you a team.
No, that would be that. Chris, they might not say it publicly.
Right.
But they would definitely
privately,
because they're trying to hold on. Now you got to remember, say it's the new league, and now NBC gets involved, right? The NBA on NBC, the old days, and they say, "Hey, we're going to have the games on NBC."
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, now you got your television
now
partner.
You got competition. Yeah.
Now you got competition. Now the NBA is like, oh wait a minute, you know what I mean? It changes everything like that. It's definitely doable.
If you're talking about all the best, or 10 of the best players going over that, why not? Like I said, I want to beat the best, so my accomplishments are recognized. I can feel like if I'm one of the best players in the world, I want to play with the best players and against the best players in the world.